आचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। श्रीकृष्णः परमात्मने नमः। अथ षष्ठोऽध्यायः। श्रीभगवानुवाच अनाश्रितः कर्मफलं कार्यं कर्म करोति यः स सन्न्यासी च योगी च न निरग्निर्न चाक्रियः यं सन्न्यासमिति प्राहुः योगं तं विद्धि पाण्डव न ह्यसन्न्यस्तसङ्कल्पः योगी भवति कश्चन आरुरुक्षोर्मुनेर्योगं कर्म कारणमुच्यते योगारूढस्य तस्यैव शमः कारणमुच्यते यदा हिनेन्द्रियार्थेषु न कर्मस्वनुषज्यते सर्वसङ्कल्पसन्न्यासी योगारूढस्तदोच्यते उद्धरेदात्मनात्मानं नात्मानमवसादयेत् आत्मैव ह्यात्मनो बन्धुः आत्मैव रिपुरात्मनः बन्धुरात्मात्मनस्तस्य येनात्मैवात्मना जितः अनात्मनस्तु शत्रुत्वे वर्तेतात्मैव शत्रुवत् जितात्मनः प्रशान्तस्य परमात्मा समाहितः शीतोष्णसुखदुःखेषु तथा मानापमानयोः ज्ञानविज्ञानतृप्तात्मा कूटस्थो विजितेन्द्रियः युक्त इत्युच्यते योगी समलोष्टाश्मकाञ्चनः सुहृन्मित्रार्युदासीन मध्यस्तद्वेष्य बन्धुषु साधुष्वपि च पापेषु समबुद्धिर्विशिष्यते योगी युञ्जीत सततम् आत्मानं रहसि स्थितः एकाकीयत चित्तात्मा निराशीरपरिग्रहः शुचौ देशे प्रतिष्ठाप्य स्थिरमासनमात्मनः नात्युच्छ्रितन्नातिनीचं चैलाजिनकुशोत्तरं तत्रैकाग्रं मनः कृत्वा यतचित्तेन्द्रियः क्रियः उपविश्यासने युञ्ज्यात् योगमात्मविशुद्धये समं कायशिरो ग्रीवं धारयन्नचलं स्थिरं सम्प्रेक्ष्य नासिकाग्रं स्वं दिशश्चानवलोकयन् प्रशान्तात्मा विगतभिः ब्रह्मचारिव्रते स्थितः मनः संयम्य मच्चित्तः युक्त आसीत मत्परः युञ्जन्नेवं सदात्मानं योगी नियतमानसः शान्तिर्निर्वाणपरमां मत्संस्थामधिगच्छति नात्यश्नतस्तु योगोऽस्ति न चैकान्तमनश्नतः न चाति स्वप्नशीलस्य जाग्रतो नैव चार्जुन युक्ताहारविहारस्य युक्तचेष्टस्य कर्मसु युक्तस्वप्नावबोधस्य योगो भवति दुःखः यदा विनियतं चित्तम् आत्मन्येवावतिष्ठते निःस्पृहः सर्वकामेभ्यः युक्त इत्युच्यते यदा तदा यथा दीपो निवातस्थः नेङ्गते सोपमा स्मृता योगिनो यतचित्तस्य युञ्जतो योगमात्मनः यत्रो परमते चित्तं निरुद्धं योगसेवया यत्र चैवात्मनात्मानं पश्यन्नात्मनि तुष्यति सुखमात्यन्तिकं यत्तद् बुद्धिग्राह्यमतीन्द्रियं वेत्ति यत्र न चैवायं स्थितश्चलति तत्त्वतः यल्लब्ध्वा चापरं लाभं मन्यते नाधिकं ततः यस्मिन् स्थितो न दुःखेन गुरुणापि विचाल्यते तं विद्यात् दुःखसंयोग वियोगं योगसंज्ञितं स निश्चयेन योक्तव्यः योगो निर्विण्णचेतसा संकल्पप्रभवान् कामान् त्यक्त्वा सर्वान् शेषतः मनसैवेन्द्रियग्रामं विनियम्य निसमन्ततः शनैः शनैरुपरमेत् बुद्ध्या धृतिगृहीतया आत्मसंस्थं मनः कृत्वा न किञ्चिदपि चिन्तयेत् यतो यतो निश्चरति मनश्चञ्चलमस्थिरं ततो ततो नियम्यैतद् आत्मन्येव वशं नयेत्. Okay, so we are connecting after nearly 1 month, and I'll quickly take you through the 6th chapter till what we have learned and then continue from there. Atma Samyama Yoga, where related to Jnana Yoga or Raja Yoga, different names are there, or Patanjali Yoga, where the focus is on Dharana, Dhyana and Samadhi, Samyama, which is more to do with Nididhyasana Samadhi rather than Upasana Samadhi. Okay, so here he says first he brings in Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga, and he says the person who is excelled in Karma Yoga, for him Jnana Yoga is the next step. Arurukshor muner yogam karma karanam uchyate yogarudasya tasyeva shamah karanam uchyate. One who is already excelled in Karma Yoga, that has become a part of his personality, his life, now has to quieten the mind. Okay, so for quietening the mind, the instruments which are going to the Vishaya, let it be for Karma, Kamya Karma or Karma Yoga, it is these instruments which are going to the external world and the object, that has to be slowly withdrawn. So yadahi nendriyartheshu karmasvanu shajyate sarvasankalpa sannyasi yogarudas tadachati. Now in this particular path of quietening the mind, You are by yourself. There is no one, because it is you who has to work with that current mind which is not quietened and use the mind to quieten the mind. So there are very high chances that you would lose that self-confidence, and hence initially itself Krishna peps up Arjuna saying that Uddhared Atmanatmanam Natmanam Avasadayet Atmaiva hi Atmano Bandhuhu Atmaiva Ripuhu Atmanaha. If there is confidence, you will go ahead. If it is diffidence, you will only be the reason to pull you down. Because in this path of being alone, you have to motivate yourself by yourself. So don't dilute the focus. Keep it clear that you will not get any support. You have to be by yourself and you have to push yourself. Bandhuratmatmanastasya yenatmaiva atmana jitaha anatmanastu shatrutve vartetatmaiva shatruvat. So be with the Atma, remove the Anatma. The mind will keep going to the Anatma, move from that. Jnana Vijnana Triptatma Kutastho Vijitendriyaha Yukta Ityuchyate Yogi Samaloshashmakanchanaha. He says the benefit of being with a quiet mind is what is moksha phalaha. Says one sees everything equanimous. Loshta Ashma Kanchanaha. Once you are fully established in this jnanam, with the mind being very quiet, you will see equanimity everywhere. Not only in inanimate objects, even in animate things. Suhran mitra yudasina madhyastad dveshya bandhushu sadishvapi chapapesha samabuddhir vishishyate. Whoever it may be around you, you will see only Atma Swarupa in them, and you will see one in them. You will never see that variations which are seen in the Anatma level, which are used to classify and segregate people and society. Yogi Yunjita Satatam. Now he comes to, so after going through the Bahiranga sadhana of cultivating a proper mindset, because it is not just during the time of meditation, whatever throughout the day our mindset is there, that will by default come out and pop up when you are sitting in meditation. So it is essential that all our Bahiranga sadhanas or Bahiranga acharanam has to be perfectly helping the meditation and quietening the mind. It is for quietening the mind. If there is disturbance before the meditation throughout the day, these disturbances will start popping out. As I mentioned, that if you place a rubber ball in water below and keep your hand, it will be there. The moment you remove the hand, it will pop up and come out with that, all that Bahiranga related experiences, thoughts, everything will come out first when you sit for meditation. From here, now he goes very clearly to the Antaranga sadhana. For meditation, what needs to be done? Desha, Kala, Avastha, all those things are mentioned. Shuchau deshe pratishtatya sthiramasana atmanaha natyuchritan nati nicham chailajina kushottaram. You should have a proper sitting, not very hard, not very soft, on kushagrash, and it should not be very high, it should not be very low. We have all seen this, but just I am trying to, so that aligning you all properly into this topic, because after 1 month it would have got dissipated a lot. So I am just aligning you and bringing you together. I am not going to explain in detail, that is already done. Tatra ekagram manah kritva yatachittendriya kriyaha upavishyasane yunjat yogamatma vishuddhaye. So one has to sit properly, which will come in the next shloka, and then one has to focus the mind. Ekagram manah kritva yatachittendriya kriyaha. Whatever indriya kriya is there, bring it back to the chitta. No mental transactions by any of the instruments. Okay, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, no activity of them even in the mind. Sit there and completely connect with Atma or Atma Jnanam. That is what is expected. How do you do that? Samankaya Shiro Grivam Dharayan Nachalam Sthiram. Sit properly. आपकी रीढ़ की हड्डी सीधी होनी चाहिए. Focus has to be firm. Do not keep moving. Sampreksha Nasika Gram Swam Dishashchan Avalokayan. He very clearly now gives that see the tip of your nose and see that you are focusing. Don't move bodily first. If bodily there is a movement, the mind will automatically, because body is an expression of the mind. If the body is moving, that means the mind is still disturbed. At the grossest level, when the impact is seen, then the mind is not stable. So first establish at the grossest level that there is stability. Automatically then the subtle levels will become stable. It will be firm. It will not get moved very easily. Okay. प्रशांतात्मा विगतभिः ब्रह्मचारि व्रते स्थितः मनस्संयम्यमच्चित्तः युक्त आसीत मत्परः. Very important aspect of brahmacharya vratam is there, because brahmacharya vratam is more to do rather than the body with the mind. A lot of sense control is required in brahmacharya vratam, and hence one has to really take brahmacharya vratam very strongly, so that these thoughts do not come and impact when you sit in meditation, right? And then manas samyamya, completely control the mind, get it regulated, allow it to focus. Yunjannevam sadatmanam yogi niyatamanasah shantin nirvana paramam matstam stham adhigacchati. Now by doing this Atma Samyama Yoga or this meditation, what is the benefit? The benefit is Shantim Nirvana Paramam. One gets Shantihi, Atyantika Shantihi. Mind is completely calm and Mat Samstham Adhigacchati, because Shuddha Manas jidhar hai, wahan hi Bhagwan Avirbhava hote hai. That is where God resides. So a clean, calm mind is the place where God resides. Natyashtatostu yogosti. Now again there is another one peripheral aspect which needs to be kept in mind. You should not eat more, or you should not be without eating. Both are not, both are not helpful for doing a good quality meditation and quietening the mind. If you eat more, you will go to sleep. If you eat less, you will get acidity. You will be very much disturbed at the bodily level. Mind will be disturbed. So hence, one should, in moderation, eat. One should eat on time. One should eat right quantity. One should eat the number of times in a day appropriately, so that it just ensures enough energy for the body, but does not make the body to work to digest the excess food. Okay, and then same way, and fallout of that food is sleep. Nachati swapnashilasya jagrato naivacharjuna. One should not be awake without sleeping, which is not good, because the mind gets fatigued very fast. One should not become too much of indulgence in sleeping, by which you are pampering the mind and making it very lazy. Okay. So he says, in general, yuktahara viharasya, yuktacheshtasya karmasu, yukta swapnavabodhasya, yogo bhavati dukkha. If a yogi should not have any bodily or mentally troubles from within oneself, either due to the body or due to the systems which are our excretory system, digestive system, which are all working. If they have to work in cohesion and perfectly, you need to have appropriate vihara, karma and swapna. So you need to do the right jobs, the right actions. Yukta cheshtasya karmasu. the proper thought behind it and doing the action. Yukta viharasya, you have to exercise and keep the body fit. You have to have adequate sleep and you should have proper, adequate, enough or minimal food required for the body. Then he says, once you are into it, tada viniyatam chittam. This is where we explain viniyatam chittam from Patanjali's Ashtanga Yoga. We went through completely yama, niyama, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. And in Patanjali's samadhi, we very clearly mentioned that we are not referring to thoughtless samadhi or nirvikalpaka samadhi, which is mentioned. The Vedantic samadhi, which is considering the thought on Vedanta, that samadhi, and completely without any effort getting into a highly connected state between the subject and object, that unison is called samadhi, where you are able to go in fast, where you are able to be there for a period of time without any disturbance, and whenever you want you can come out of it, completely controlled by you. This is what viniyatam chittam means. When that particular mind is very well trained horse, that it listens to you as you want, and then you are able to ride it the way you want, that is called viniyatam chittam. Atmanyevavatisthate, it should be established only on the Atma and not on the Anatma. Nisprihas sarvakamebhyaha, what do you get? All the kamaha, all the desires which are there on the Anatma level, one has to completely drop it. Nispriha. Yukta iti uchyate. That connection is only called yoga. How does it work? Yatha deepo nivatastaha ningate sopama smritaha yogino yatachittasya yunjato yogamatmanaha. So, how this particular meditation or fixing of the mind needs to be? It should be like that flame of lamp which is not affected by even the slightest wind around it. The lamp flickers, but once you place a casing around it, when you protect it, when you insulate it from the air, that flame remains steady and firm. Like that, we need to create a clear insulation of our mind from the anatma, that it does not get moved or flickered by any of the objects or any of the wants and any of the mind going to any of these objects. It should get protected from that. Yoginaha yatachittasya yunjato yogamatmanaha, and hence the easiest and the best ways, the mind needs a thought. Give it a thought. Do not deprive it of thoughts. Give it a thought, and only single thought of aham atma asmi, aham brahmasmi thought, where it is established on that thought, and that thought is the only thing which is going to keep it very, very firm. That is called uparamate chittam. Yatroparamate chittam niruddham yoga sevaya tatra chaivatmanatmanam pashyannatmani tushyati. Okay, pashyannatmani, very clearly you don't see the atma. Vichara, atma vichara is pashyannatmani. When you are only with atma vichara and dropping all the anatma and completely owning up that aham atma, that vichara is called pashyannatmani tushyati. One is very, very happy and contented with such a thought. Now 20, 21, 22, 23. These four shlokas were giving different definitions of samadhi. This is where we stopped in the last class. seven different definitions of samadhi has been given. The first one is shloka number 20. Yatraha uparamate chittam niruddham yoga sevaya. Uparamate chittam. Chittam is mind. Yatra, when. Uparamate, being established at Atma Vichara. Niruddham yoga sevaya. Okay. Tatra cha eva atmanam pashyannatmani tushyati. So here two definitions are given. First one is called chitta uparamanam or nirvikalpaka samadhi. This particular one is the state of absorption where you are completely absorbed that I am Atma, and with full quietude in the mind, only this particular thought, Aham Atma Asmi, is going on. This state where you are not impacted by any other thought, any other object, no desires, already Nispriha Sarvakamebhya has been told. So when you are only with this thought, okay, this thought, if you are established in that, that is called Chitta Uparamanam. Okay. Niruddham. Niruddham means what? Without any obstruction, without any stoppage. Yoga sevaya, being in yoga only with this one thought, you are fully connected with that thought, effortlessly, continuously for a long period of time. Okay, this is one of the definitions of samadhi, where the mind is fully quiet and you get that experience of mind quietude being established in the Atma Plana. Okay. From there, going to the second definition, Yatra chaivatmanatmanam pashyannatmani tushyati. So the first one is quietude, the second one is having that single thought of Atma without being interrupted by any other thought. Sajat vijatiya pratyaha vishaya anantaram sajatiya pravaha pratyaya pravaha. Okay, vijatiya pratyaya anantaram sajatiya pratyaya pravaha, and in that pravaha you are completely absorbed. And when you say pravaha, pratyaya pravaha, many thoughts in one direction, but in that also you are only with the thought of Aham Atma. So that is called Atma, Atmanam Pashyan Atmani Tushyati. So Atmanam Pashyan. See, there is a way of expressing them. When you see the Atma, now the question will be asked, can you see the Atma? No. Being established with the single thought which is running in the mind uninterruptedly that I am Atma, it is equivalent to Atmanam Pashyan. And when you are in that Atmanam Pashyan, what happens? Atmani Tushyati. My mind is very, very joyful and contented that Aham, wow, Eureka, Eureka. That is that thought which comes in the mind that I am fully contented, I have nothing else more to attain, because I am everything and everything is coming out of me. Okay. If I have the key for all the happiness which is there in this universe, and I am the owner of the key, why should I now think of getting any other happiness from anything which is all actually coming out of me. That, you know, that feeling of I am total and I am complete. This is what this particular, and being in that thought, that is the samadhi. Okay. Then what is the next definition? Sukham atyantikam yat tad buddhi grahyam atindriyam. Okay. Sukham atyantikam. Atyantikam sukham. What is atyantikam sukham? Okay. Yad tad buddhi grahyam atindriyam. See, whenever there is happiness, the happiness is established on the mind. Whenever there is happiness, where is the happiness sitting? Is it sitting on the mind or is it sitting in the buddhi? Are you all happily sleeping or happily listening or happily muted and doing something else? Where is happiness is in the mind. Whenever the happiness is in the mind, what is the definition of the mind? What is the definition of the mind?
Bundle of thoughts. Bundle of thoughts.
Mind is bundle of thoughts. Then what is buddhi? What is buddhi? Come on, we are getting into subtle knowledge. Here we have to be alert and we have to be very, very clear whether we are understanding it clearly. Here he says, Sukham atyantikam yat tad buddhi grahyam atindriyam. Atyantikam sukham, one word. Atindriyam sukham, another word. Buddhi grahyam atindriyam sukham. Okay. Atyantikam buddhi grahyam atindriyam sukham yat tad samadhi. So beautiful it is. Every word, when you try to understand, it will perfectly fit now. Come back to the question, what is manas? Thoughts coming up is not manas. What is buddhi? Thoughts coming. In this, buddhi is intellect. Then what is manas? Mind. What is the difference between both?
Mind experiences from the external objects.
Mind experiences the environment. Doesn't mind experience the internal environment also? If I close my eyes, there are no objects from outside.
It can.
So it can. So mind only experience the environment, need not be external, it can be internal also. Then what is the difference between manas and buddhi?
Buddhi helps in decision.
Buddhi helps in decision making. Okay. Buddhi helps in decision making.
Buddhi is knowledge.
Then who is making the decision? If buddhi helps, it is helping someone. Buddhi?
It's correlated to knowledge.
Buddhi is knowledge. What is manas then?
Buddhi decides what to do.
Buddhi decides what to do. What does manas do?
Plus, it's the inputs Okay.
And then,
What to, whether to act on it or not, it is decided by the Buddha.
yeah, but what does the manas do? If that manas was so good that what it gets, it gives the buddhi, then none of these are required. This is manas shastra, not buddhi shastra. Correct? Who is the villain here? In the whole thing, who is the villain here? Correct. So what does the manas do? We never call buddhi is the villain. Buddhi either is ignorant or knowledgeable. If it is ignorant, you have to provide with knowledge. Once the knowledge is there, the ignorance goes off. Either it is correct knowledge or wrong knowledge. So it is very rational and clear, the buddhi. But what happens to the manas?
Manas is getting the thoughts.
Manas is getting the thoughts. What is buddhi getting then?
Buddhi is creating the rationality.
That are also thoughts. When you look at it, Chatvari Antakaranani, what are they? Kani Chatvari Antakaranani.
Manas, Buddhi,
Ah,
Ahankara,
Chitta. Correct? What are they?
Nischayatmika mind.
No, but what are these four? Together. I am going now one step behind. Correct. They four are together now. What are these four? Why are they called Antakarana? Go by word meaning, one by one. We'll build it up and come to this. पंचज्ञानेन्द्रियाणि पंचकर्मेन्द्रियाणि पंचप्राणाः चत्वारि अंतःकरणानि एकोनविंशति सूक्ष्मशरीराणि. Correct? Out of that चत्वारि अंतःकरणानि, why are they grouped together? Are they mind related? Mind is one of it. Are they mind related? They are thought related. Okay? So thought. Thought is a function of what?
Mind.
Thought is a function of? There is a gross body sitting there. What is the gross body here? Ah, gross body. How can gross body be Indriya? Brain. Correct? The brain has a particular function called thoughts. The activity of the brain is called thoughts. These thoughts are segregated into four types of thoughts. One type of thought is called manas, one type of thought is called buddhi, one type of thought is called, or when it performs that type of thought, this brain is called manas. When I perform my job of a father, I am called father. When I perform the job of a husband, I am called husband. So it is kriyatmaka. When I perform a particular job which has got a particular definition, I am given a particular name. Correct? But all are thoughts. So when the thought is sankalpatma vikalpatma thought, then that type of thought or that type of brain or that type of me is called my manas. Is it clear? Same way, nishchayatmika job when it is done, the thoughts are very firm, very clear, very rational, action oriented, knowledge related. They are all called buddhi related type of thoughts. Where the thoughts are simply stored in a storehouse, then it is called chittam. There is one thought which is actually handling all these thoughts. Aham karta iti ahankaraha is a thought. Is it clear? Now, if manas is sankalpatma vikalpatma, Manas understands the environment. Manas is related to emotions. Manas feels happy. Then all these are coming and going because they are sankalpatma, vikalpatma. Is it clear? If I feel happy now, the same mind, give it few more minutes, it will start feeling sad about the same thought. Is it clear? If you say I am happy now, oh, I am happy, what a wonderful, give 5 minutes. This is okay, but what boring here. God. Again God. Are you able to get this? So this mind, chanchalam hi manah Krishna, it is going to come. The problem is the mind. Why the mind is a problem? Because it is the biggest interface of external and internal. What is the job of this? Indriyas go out to the Vishaya, get the knowledge of the Vishaya and come in with data. This data is processed in a CPU called Manas. That Manas has got its own color of likes and dislikes, and that's how it will color the information and give it to the Buddhi. And in this coloring business, it will either be happy or be sad or be indifferent or like or dislike. All the emotions are sitting because it is understanding the environment with respect to its own likes and dislikes. Are you able to get this? When you say you like this particular food or a sweet, someone will say I like it, someone will say I don't like it, someone will say I like this more than the other one. Why? Because the manas is colored by the individual likes and dislikes, and in present of that color, when the data comes, the mind is actually evaluating it and saying and grading it, and then thereby saying ठीक है, but बहुत अच्छा है, I liked it, because it is with the reference point and it is not doing an independent, very clean audit job. Are you able to get this? Because whatever is an outcome of this process is actually fed into the next level, which is inside, which is the buddhi, which is nishchayatmika, where the knowledge is seated, where the rational mind is seated, where the experiences of the past are also seated, where the memory is very close. And what happens because of this? The intellect gets knowledge from a colored mind. Okay? Whenever anatma vishaya comes, the colored mind has its own likes and dislikes. But in atma vishaya, the mind has no place because it is absolute truth. Correct? Even if you don't like to hear, Atma Jnanam gives you freedom. You may not come to the class, but the fact that Atma Jnana gives the freedom is an established one, which is what the buddhi understands. So when you look at anything from the buddhi level, it is very clear. Anyway, this is a fact. Either I like it, I accept it, I go to it. I don't like it, even let it be a fact, I will go away from it. For example, smoking cigarette is injurious to health is a buddhi related statement and not a manas related statement. Are you able to get that? Whoever smokes cigarette, whether they like it or don't like it, active or passive, that cigarette smoke is injurious to health is a established fact of buddhi. My mind may like it or may not like it. If my mind likes it, then I do not go where smoking is happening, neither I smoke. Because mind has aligned to the buddhi. If the mind does not align to the buddhi, then what happens? the mind intelligently will look at places where I will not be in front of someone who knows that I am smoking. Chup chup ke, I will still smoke. Why? My feeling is if someone sees, then it's a problem to me. But the problem is my intellect is seeing it every time. I say, you shut up. Whatever happens to me, I will take care of it. I am not bothered. Is this clear? So, the game is always played at the mind. Intellect is very clear. That is why when a guilt comes, it is related to the mind and never related to the buddhi. What is a papa or when does a guilt come is when in a given situation the mind assesses something and gives information to the buddhi connects to the knowledge, absolute right knowledge and says no, don't do it or do it very clearly, but the mind chooses not to listen to the buddhi and gives instructions to the indriyas. The indriyas perform the act. Over a period of time, that act comes back and it boomerangs back. That is the time the mind starts feeling bad about it and the buddhi winks and says, I told you that day, you didn't listen to me. I have no access to indriyas. I have to depend on you, but you gave wrong instruction. They are slaves. They will follow it. Now you bear the brunt of it. And that is called a papa. Are we able to get this? Unless we understand this, this particular statement is very clear. Sukham atyantikam yat tad buddhi grahyam atindriyam. What is indriyam? Come on, quickly. What is indriyam? Instruments that get data. What is atindriyam? Atindriyam is beyond the ability of these instruments to collect this data. Correct? Suppose I say there is a star which is that many light years away. I can use a telescope and see the star. With my naked eyes, even with the best of my specs, I can't see it. No human being can see this. So it is your Rupa Agochara or Rupa Gochara without a telescope. Is it within the scope of my eyesight or is it beyond the scope of my eyesight? Beyond. So, yeah, so this is called as Atindriya, which I cannot see of my current vision or general vision of human beings. Okay. How many indriyas do you have? Manashasthani indriyani prakritisthani karshati. One more indriya is sitting now. Are you able to see that? If the slaves are there, the master of the slave is also one of the instrument now. Are you getting it? So now it is beyond this indriya also. Beyond the manas. Beyond the jnanendriya, karmendriya, which are anyway appendages outside, but beyond this master who is actually taking care of these slaves, which is the manas, it is beyond that also. Correct? Now what does this manas can do? It can only be either very happy, very sad or different emotions. So if it is very happy, the happiness comes, happiness goes. If it is very sad, the sadness comes, the sadness goes. So it is coming, agate swagatam kuryat, after some time it has to go. But if something is atindriyam, it is not going to come and go because it is already there. What is already there cannot go. What is already there? What is already there that cannot come and go? Atma. What is the another aspect of Atma to understand, which is related to how mind can understand? I'm making you think. I'm making this line tough for you. No. What is that aspect which my mind can easily go experience, and then they have different emotions? One of these particular loosely put emotion is absolutely present in me. In fact, the mind always takes what is absolutely present and reflects it back to me, and based on that reflection I said my mind is happy, my mind is sad. What is that? Are you able to get my question? Are you able to get my question? Consider mind to be a mirror. It is not taking anything from outside, but it is taking something from inside which is already present and reflecting it back to me. And that reflection, I say I enjoy it or I don't enjoy it. What is that thing?
What about memories from knowledge story mentioned?
No. No. Memory comes and goes. The memory you have now is what is accessible in this janma, and the other memories of all the past janmas are not accessible. Maybe one exceptionally something can just come out, but otherwise 10 janmas back, if you are an insect, that experience will never come out from the memory. Are you able to get that? So it is not that. See how this Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. So that Sat and Chit, if you leave it, that Ananda or Anantatva, okay, everything what we try to do is to ensure that I pervade more and more. Let it be status, let it be money, let it be happiness. More of my pervasion I want to have. That is that Anantatvam which is there internally, which reflects through the mind, and all the activity we do, and we say, I achieved this. I wanted this. Why? It is that Ananda which I am intrinsically, which is getting reflected through the mind back to me. Now if I remove this mind part, there is no reflection required. Then what is it? I am Atindriya Atyantika Ananda Swarupa at all times. Raso Vaisaha Rasagyevayal Labdvanandi Bhavati. Rasaha, enjoyment, that internally enjoyment which is my intrinsic nature. Enjoy is not sensory enjoyment. That fulfillment, that contentment, I am there, I exist. No, when you are in trouble and you feel bad, you feel depressed, and at that time you are exposed to someone who is 100 times more tormented than you, and you can't even imagine yourself in that person's position. You would have already committed suicide and gone, and today you see I am much better than that person. Is there happiness or is there sadness in you? Is it an atyantika happiness or is it an acquired happiness? Are you able to get that? That atyantika happiness is what we are referring to here. Atindriyam Sukham Atyantikam. Atyantikam means what? What is Atyantikam? What is Atyantikam? Come on. There is no start and there is no end. Ati Antikam, Atyantikam, which doesn't have an end. never ends. Okay. Sukham. What is Sukham?
Bliss.
What is that? Anandam. When you Satchit Anandam, that Anandam is represented here as Sukham. What Sukham? Atyantikam Sukham. Aham Atyantika Sukhosmi. I am eternally a blissful. You can't say by nature. I am that. It is not my nature also. Okay. Sukham Atyantikam Buddhi Grahyam Atindriyam. That which the Buddhi or Manas cannot attain by any of the Indriyas. That means it is always, eternally, at every time will be perpetually in me without any depletion at all times. Then if I am that, why do I not see it that way? Are you able to get this question? The problem you understand? If I am eternally that, why don't I experience even a little of that at any time? For that you have to go to third chapter. In third chapter there is a shloka. What is that shloka? Dhumena priyate vannihi yathadarsho malena cha yadolbena vrito garbha tatha tene tamavritam. So I am that. Thousands of sun, when brought together, how much of luminescence will be there? Think about it. It's an imaginary, it's a figurative one. If 1,000 suns are, not S-O-N, S-U-N. If they are brought together, if 1,000 suns are there, it will be like 1,000 scorpions. No, it is 1,000 S-U-N. Lot of light that you can't even imagine. If that 1,000 suns are more innumerable suns brought together. Correct? Na tatra suryo bhati na chandra taragam nema vidyuto bhakti kuto yamagnihi na tatra suryo bhati. These luminescence together, imagine we have put it into that big, thick, very, very thick lead container. Lead container. Okay. Tell me whether one ray of light will come out. Will one ray of light also will come out? No. So what does the person who is sitting outside feel? There is no light at all. But actually they are sitting where? In a highly illuminant environment. But that light is unable to come because of a covering around it, which is the thick lead covering. Like that, my ajnana covering is so thick that it doesn't allow this jnana ananda to percolate out little by little. When an object comes, through that object I see that and I enjoy it, called sukha. Very, very simple. How are you? About sukhi. That sukhi is such a small word. Are you able to get that? No, it is like this. A person was chased by a lion. Now this person starts running. He ran. And then he saw that he cannot run because the lion is, or a tiger is much faster than him. So he decided to do one thing. He saw a well and above which there was a tree next to the well. And he just went onto a branch. He knows that this tiger or lion cannot come there. He said, I will protect myself there. When he went to the tip of the branch, that is the time he understood. One is he ran, and when he had to climb, body full of bruises. That branch which he is holding it is very weak and going to break anytime. By his weight, it has already cracked. And when he came there was a snake behind him which is sitting there, waiting for him to come back. Near the well, the lion is standing. Okay. Down inside the well, there are very venomous snakes because it's a dry well, and if it breaks, Venkatramana Govinda, he cannot come back, he cannot go into the well, his situation is very sure he is going to die, and in the whole thing, when he tried doing something, the honeycomb on the above branch got distorted. These honeybees are coming and stinging him. Correct? Now, is this a happy situation or painful situation? Very painful situation, knowing very clearly I am going to die. In the meantime, that honeycomb was filled with honey, and as it moved, some drops of honey started falling down, which was very close to him, and this person taking his tongue outside, trying to lick that honey which is falling down. That is the sukham which we get, and not atyantika sukham. Are you able to understand this? Okay, so what gets reflected out is such a small thing, but what does we as a storehouse is so much which we can't imagine. And he says that I am that atyantika sukham, which is indriya, atindriya grahya by the buddhi also, because buddhi goes only with experience and knowledge. Both of this cannot even understand what it is. The buddhi cannot even understand, even if it understands, cannot express it. Are you able to get this? Even if it tries to express, it cannot. Why? Atindriya grahyam, the words are not there to express it. Beyond the words to express it. So I can never understand it because, but I know for sure it is me. I am experienced. It's not an experience. I know for a fact that it is there. It's the truth. And I don't have to justify to anyone else. That state of mind and buddhi is samadhi. Are you able to get this? Atyantika labham is what he is mentioning here. Okay. Sukham atyantika yattad buddhigrahyam atindriyam. Okay. This particular experience coming in that state of mind, when the mind is very quiet and I am established in Atma, that is called samadhi. What happens here? When you come out of the samadhi, what will be there? Gone. Then it is memory, yeah? Are you able to get that? Okay, this problem will be there in this third particular. So this has to be kept in mind. At that state of samadhi, when I see that aham ananda swarupaha, when I am out of the samadhi, it is like millions of scorpions biting me. Dukkha swarupa will come out. I always want to be there. Just imagine when you are in a very nice deep sleep and someone coming, hey, get up, it is too late. Huh? Oh, yeah, I'm so sleepy. Go, don't trouble me, let me sleep. For that sleep itself, when we tell this, a person in that state of samadhi, when he comes out, it will be so painful. It will be so painful. Then why is this samadhi to be done if it is going to be painful? When I know tam vidya dukkha sanyogaha, it is going to now give me pain, then why even get to that level of ecstasy and enjoyment? Because after that pain anyway is going to be there. Are you getting it? So there is a flaw in the statement. And to clarify this flaw, Krishna again will tell you another shloka for it. So keep this flaw in the mind and we will see that later. Is it clear? Is it clear for you all? I'm trying to explain little more so that we understand what is the samadhi when he says, and the phalam of that samadhi, what benefit comes. Okay. Next, he says, Veti yatra na chaivayam sthitaschalati tattvataha. Tattvasthitaha. Tattvabodhaha. Tattvataha. Means what? What is tattvajnanam? Tattvavakyam? Tattvabodhaha? Is that ultimate knowledge? Aham Brahma Asmi, Ayam Atma Brahma, Prajnanam Brahma, Tattvamasi, anything whichever you say. Okay. Sa Esha Purushaha, Asavadityaha, there are so many Mahavakyas which are telling you that you are that. That particular Tattvavakyaha, Veti, once clearly understood and being established in that, sthitaha, fully established. Okay. Nacha eva ayam chalati, does not get even a little distracted or disturbed or moved from that clarity of thought, single thought that aham atma asmi. Are you able to get this? That being established in that state at all times is called tattvataha, tattvajnanaha, and that is samadhi. Okay. Already which I have explained, again coming in another way, yam labdhva cha aparam labham manyate na adhikam tataha. Yam labdhva, one having already attained it, achieved it, got it, possessed it, aparam labham, bigger than that a benefit, na adhikam, there is nothing bigger than that, when it is very clear that all the other labham is very much finite, small, and it is already sitting in this infinite labham which I am benefiting. That means earlier he says nisprihas sarvakamebhyah, 18 shloka. Nispriha sarvakamebhyah. What is nispriha sarvakamebhyah? Giving up all the desires. Is it correct? Now when someone says aparam adhikam labham na manyate, there is no other desire or possession or getting something which is equal to, forget bigger, not even equal to at any measure with this particular what I have achieved by this samadhi. Okay, that means completely contented. There is not even a small straw of discontent sitting inside. Okay, yam labdhva, that once you feel that I have attained, then that is samadhi. Clear benefits. From the benefit you will know that what I have achieved. It's like when how do I know while traveling I have reached that place? I am going for the first time. How do I know I have reached the place? Either when I ask someone, they will say, yes, what you are looking, you have already reached. Or you see a board, this is the place. Or in the GPS it says, your destination attained, achieved, reached. Correct? Then you know, my efforts are now already given result. Have you to wait for a result at that time? If my effort is to reach a place, now after reaching, next effort will start. But first effort is to reach the place. So I am putting an effort. The result, if you say, will come after reaching there after a period of time. So after going there, I sit and do dhyana. Have I come to the right place? Have I come to the right place? Suddenly one knowledge, you have come to the right place. Should I have to do that? The moment you reach the place, the result is already there with you. Are you able to get that? So yam labdvacha aparam labham namanyante. There is no other benefit once having attained that. You are very clear that there is बाकी पूरा cosmos तुच्छ है, because they are all anatma, they are just nama rupa matrena, nothing, but I am at that pinnacle which is the goal of my life. I have already reached that, and once you are there, you are established there. Okay, it is not physically going there. That knowledge has dawned upon you at that time after clarifying all the doubts, and you start owning it up 100% that aham atma. Okay, right. Yasmin sthitaha na dukkhena gurunapi vichalyate. What does this tell? This particular sentence, it means Yasmin sthitaha, having reached that place or having reached that position or having reached that state of mind or having reached whatever you want, you say, having dawned upon that knowledge, gurunapi dukkhena na vichalyate. What is guruna? What is guruna? Tritiya ekavachanam. What is Tritiya ekavachanam? With. Or through the Guru, dukkha. That is dukkha given through the Guru, na vichalyate. Okay. Having attained that state, when the teacher gives you some pain, it won't impact you. Correct? Malti madam, correct na? Very good. Very nice. Okay, mute. Mute. Gurunapi na vicharyate. Here Guru means heavy. Guru means deep, very heavy sorrows. Correct. Laghu Guru. Correct. So Guru means heavy. That is why Gurutva Karshana we say, gravity. Guru is Jupiter, heavy. Okay. So Gurunapi vichalyate dukkhe. Gurunapi dukkhena na vichalyate. Now tell me, why will this person get Gurunapi dukkhena? Why will this person get dukkha? Don't forget that Prarabdha Karma is sitting now. You don't know. After this enlightenment also, there can be 100 scorpions physically biting you, giving you dukkha. Don't tell after I get jnanam, if I go in the sun, nothing will happen. If I submerge in the water, I will still be alive. Nothing. No. Prarabdha Karma is still working on you. You don't have any such extraordinary such things you don't have. Even if it is there, you don't need to use it because they are all anatma. So which means what? First thing, this statement tells jnana need not come only as posthumous. Correct? So first is one can become Huh? When you are alive itself, you can be enlightened. And once you are alive, if you are enlightened, all the karmas goes except prarabdha karma continues to be there. And when prarabdha karma continues to be there, it will go till your death. And once with death, you will become completely muktaha, where this body also will go to Pancha Mahabhutas. Right? Whatever mind and other Sukshma Indriyas will also go back to those Adhisthana Devatas. Now, if that is true, post-enlightenment, there can be dukkha. Dukkha from a generic social, when people look at it, it will be dukkha. But for you, when you are looking at Aham Atma Gudakesha, I am that Atma Swarupa, it is no more a dukkha, because you have already know this body is asti jayate vartate viparinamate apakshiyate vinashyati iti shadvikara. Like Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi, after Jnana Nishtha, with that Jnanam he got cancer or some other problems. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa had a lot of problems. They never bothered about this body. They said, if you want to operate, you operate. This body is for you all. Let it continue. You do what you want. I have no problem about it. So, Gurunapi, now when the person is cutting it or when the person is treating it, there is going to be a pain. When you are suffering through it, there is going to be a pain. That is Gurunapi Dukkhena, the person na vichalyate, will not get disturbed by all these things, but is focused because he is already or she is already established sthitaha swasthane on the Atma. Is it clear? Is it clear? Does this make sense? Okay. So we have seen 6 meanings. Okay. Yatro paramate chittam niruddham yoga sevaya samadhi. Yatra chaivatmanatmanam pashyannatmani tushyati. Second, Atma. Okay. Third one, Atyantikam sukham. Buddhigrahya matindriyam. Fourth one, Tattvataha Tattvajnanaha cha evayam sthitaha na chalati. Fifth one, Yam labdva aparam labam manyante na adhikam cha tataha. Sixth one, Yasmin sthito dukkhena gurunapi na vichalyate. Is it clear? Now he gives a technical 7th meaning. Tam vidya dukkha sanyoga viyogam yoga sannitam. Okay. You understand tam vidya yoga sannitam. This yoga sannitam is connected right from 20th shloka up to 23rd shloka. Yoga sannitam means this is the meaning of samadhista yoga. Tam vidya, you understand. So tam vidya yoga sannitam is in between that all these sentences are sitting. Are you able to get this? Now he says, Dukkha Yoga Viyoga. What is Dukkha Yoga Viyoga?
Association.
Correct. Now here, yes, association, dissociation is correct. The question is what with what. If you see, suppose you say dukkha sanyoga, yoga viyoga. See, this is technical, huh? First understand, then write. Otherwise, you will write something wrong. I am first going to confuse you and then going to clarify things. Dukkha Sanyoga is very clear. Sanyoga means attachment. Dukkha is
Sorrow.
sorrow. So attachment with sorrow. Yoga Viyogam.
Joining.
Dissociation. Yoga is what?
Association.
With what? Here yoga means what? What yoga?
Mind.
No, with Atma. Okay, yoga, Atma Yoga. Is it clear? Yoga means here what? Atma Yoga. So, Atma Yoga Viyogam means what?
Association or dissociation?
Atma Yoga is what? I am Atma. Viyoga means what? Dissociate from the knowledge that I am Atma. Are you able to get this? Don't write anything, huh? Please don't write anything. I'm taking some fun out of your. Dukkha Sanyoga is what? Attachment to Dukkha. Atma Yoga Viyoga means what? Detachment from the knowledge I am Atma. Can it be called Samadhi? Can it be called Samadhi? People online, hopefully you are with me. There is a little Tikram Shloka. You have to understand it clearly. That's why I said it's a technical one. Correct? That means you cannot add Viyoga to the next word called Yoga. Look at that sentence there. Tam Vidya, you understand. Dukkha Sanyoga, joining with Dukkha. Viyoga Yoga, disassociation with the knowledge that I am Atma. Sanyitam, understand it clearly. That is Samadhi. Is it correct? So if you make the meaning out of it like this, clean bold. Then how to make the meaning first? Tam Vidya, that is correct. You understand. What? Yoga Sanyitam. What is Samadhi? You better understand. Yoga means what? Samadhistha Yoga. What is Samadhi? Subject object becoming one. What is the subject and object? I, Brahman as one. That is Samadhi, you better understand. Tam Vidya. Okay. But what is that meaning of yoga? Dukkha Sanyoga Viyoga. Okay. So now there is an association and a dissociation joined together. Does it have two subjects? The answer is no. Dukkha Sanyoga. For Sanyoga, what is the subject? Dukkha. That means association with sorrow. Correct? For Viyoga, what is the subject?
One second, this Dukkha should be there.
Dukkha Sanyoga, not Dukkha alone.
Dissociation from the association of
Disassociation with the association of sorrow. Now it makes sense. So there will be association of sorrow, it tells. Please understand this, sir. There will be association of sorrow, because that is why he said earlier, na Yasmin Stito na dukkhe na gurunapi vichalyate. That means there is going to be association with sorrow. Then what you should do? Disassociate with this association. Are you able to get the subject? So when writing, understand that Samadhi is disassociation with the association of sorrow.
dissociation from
Disassociation from the association with sorrow. Is it clear? Hopefully it is clear to people online. I assume you all are active and listening. Why did he tell this? The third definition, which very clearly says, Sukham atyantikam yattad buddhi grahya matindriyam. Samadhi is when you have atyantika sukham. During the samadhi state, that means when I come out of the samadhi, my atyantikam sukham goes, because I am connected with anatma, that avaranam comes, and hence when I come out, there will be atyantikam dukkham. If I connect with atyantikam dukkham after the samadhi, I am no more samadhistha. I am no more established there. So he clarifies that don't mistake that third definition to be that during the state of samadhi I am connected. No, that samadhistha mind should always be that whether you are physically in samadhi or even out of samadhi. How will you know that? Only when I do not associate with any association of sorrow, which is natural because of my prarabdha karma coming, and if I connect with that, that means I am that my third definition has gone wrong. Are you able to get that? Is it clear? Hence, he very clearly gives a seventh definition to ensure that Arjuna does not mistake that just being in samadhi is what is that state. Once you are out of the samadhi, all that knowledge, everything is gone. I am like any other normal human being. No, that will be absolutely wrong, which means this particular statement very, very, very clearly says that nirvikalpaka samadhi is not required. Nirvikalpaka samadhi, thoughtless samadhi is not required, but that samadhi where I have understood that I am Sukha Swarupaha, and my Sukha Swarupa cannot be any time compromised with any association with small dukkha, because they are all incidental and they will go, and I have that jnanam. Because of that, I accept the prarabdha karma, the way it is coming and going, I have no botheration about it. Is it clear? In none of these samadhi avasthas, thoughtless state has been told by Krishna. Do you agree this? Anywhere he said be thoughtless, remove all the thoughts. No. That is why in Vedanta, when we do Vedantic meditation, we have 5 types of meditation. The 5th one is Vedantic meditation. The Vedantic meditation very clearly says, be with that single thought, Aham, Brahma, Asmi, or all thoughts related to that. But thoughtless state, as given by Patanjali in yoga, Nirvikalpaka samadhi is not at all needed as per Vedanta for moksha or for jnana prapti or jnana nishkama. Is this clear to everyone? Okay, all this 7. Having said that, now he is given, what has he done? He has given dhyana bahiranga sadhana, dhyana antaranga sadhana, dhyana swarupam, dhyana phalam. Has he given all this? Correct? Very clear? Today we took all that. Bahiranga, antaranga, what to do, then what is dhyana swarupam, what does that dhyana mean, and then once you know what that dhyana is, what is the benefit of this dhyana? Okay, what is the definition of this samadhistha dhyana? 7 definitions. With the phalam very clearly given. After that, something comes to Krishna's mind. He goes and says clearly, Sankalpa Prabhavan Kaman Yaktva Sarvana Sheshataha Manasevendriya Gramam Vidiyamya Samantataha. Now he says, you have to, if you want, now you understood the Dhyana Swarupa, but if you have to practice this Dhyana, you have to be very clear on one. First, Sankalpa. Oh, very clear now. What is Sankalpa? A focus, a determination, an objective. Without that, don't do a Dhyanam. Don't do any meditation without a very clear objective, what you want to achieve out of that meditation. Prabhavan kaman styaktva sarvan asheshataha sankalpaha prabhavan kaman styaktva sarvan asheshataha. Now this particular statement, this sankalpaha is what you know. Sankalpa resolution comes where? When does it come? Where does the Sankalpa origin? Exactly. It origins in the mind. Sankalpa of what? Kaman. Kaman is what? Desires. So the need of a desire origins in the mind through a sankalpa, and they are prabhavan. It is very strong desire which comes in the mind. Sarvan asheshataha. What is shesha? What is shesha? Shesha. Leftover, remnant. Shesha. Ashesha means what? Opposite of it. What is opposite of Ashesha? Complete. Without any remnant. Correct? Asheshe, he parishad, bhavat padamule, asheshe, without any remnant. You know, this is the biggest pun of our Karmakanda. In all the pujas you would have seen that Acharya will tell you to take one plate, and that plate may have some fruits and some betel leaves and supari, and then maybe some money and something, and then he will say put some 2 drops of water, and then he will ask you to tell something, and then give it. Asheshe, he parishad, bhavat padamule, maya samarpitam, imam dakshinam, yat kinchit, yatokta, dakshinam tambulancha, swikritya. The first word is what? Asheshe. Means what? I am completely giving, you please take it. I am not keeping even a part of it. You give it. After that, what will you say? Take that again and pour water. And we take that again and pour water and say, Ashe again. How much of self-fooling it is? Are you able to get that? That has to be given. If there are 5 dhanams, each dhanam has to be given Ashe. No shesha to be left in that. Otherwise we tell them, you take the money and keep that betel leaves and kela. Why? Recycle for the next dhanam. We tell in the temples and all they recycle. In our house we do the same thing in any puja because we are ignorant about it. Are you able to understand this? So asheshataha kaman styaktva. Without any remnant of a speck of desire which is coming because of sankalpa prabhavan. Due to a sankalpa, in the mind, that Prabhavan, it is so forceful that even a little remnant will be there. That is why we say this Kama is like a splinter. थोड़ा भी उसको हवा लगेगा तो it can become a fire. It has to completely be extinguished. Okay. Sankalpa Prabhavan Kamas Tyaktva. Having given up Asheshataha without even a remnant of it. Are you able to get this? Okay. How much more emphatic he needs to be to just tell Vairagya should be Paripurna. Okay. Sankalpa Prabhavan Kaman Sarvan Asheshataha Tyaktva equal to Vairagya. Paripurna Vairagya. Is it clear? Very clear? Manasi eva indriya gramam viniyamya samantataha. Another beautiful. Here what he has done is, our dear Krishna, क्या होता है, whenever you say something, you are talking and you tell a particular point, suddenly you remember that I need to tell something of the earlier point. And that is where he has brought the Dhyana Swarupam again after Dhyana Phalam. He has jumped into Dhyana Swarupam again, if you can understand. What is Dhyana Swarupam? Explanation of how to do Dhyana. Correct? He has, after the Phalam and all is over, again he has jumped back to Dhyana Swarupam. That is why in the start itself he said that all these 5 aspects of Dhyanam which is mentioned, they are jumbled. We have to pick and choose and collate them together. By Krishna talking, he has jumped across. So this is again he has jumped, saying that Asheshata, how to be in a Dhyanam is after Tyaktva. Because earlier he has told Nisprihas Sarvakamebhyo Yukta Ityuchyate Tada. In the 18th shloka he has told Nisprihas Sarvakamebhya is what? Sankalpa Prabhavan Kamas Tyaktva Sarvan Asheshataha. Are you able to get this? But to give that an emphasis, he is bringing it back again. Nisprihas Sarvakamebhya is a very general statement. Here he is making it very emphatic. Not even a speck should remain in your mind before Dhyanam, especially Samadhi. Otherwise, your Samadhi will move somewhere else. It will be more for Kamya Karma rather than Atma Jnana. Okay. Then he says what you have to do? Manasi eva indriya gramam viniyamya. Niyamya. What is the word? Niyamya. Lavanta pratyaya of niyam. Niyamya. What is niyama? What is niyama? Discipline. Yama niyama. Niyamya. Having discipline. Viniyamya. Visheshena niyamya. Ensuring that is completely disciplined. Are you able to understand now? Viniyamya is having completely disciplined what? Manasi eva indriya gramam. What is gramam? What is gramam? Village. Huh? What is it? Village. No, not gramam. Gramam is not a fruit. Gramam is a village. What do you call village? Collection of houses are village. Right? It's a collection of houses. Clusters of houses. So there are few houses here, then there are few houses somewhere there. All that put together is Gramam. Why he uses such words? He says, Manasi eva indriya gramam. How many indriyas are there? Panchajnanendriya, Panchakarmendriya. They are all gramam. They have got clusters of job which they do. Not just one. We say Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasagandha, but Shabda also is many things put together is what that Shabda. Different Shabdas are there. Like that, he says Indriya Gramam. All those clusters of antennas which we have incoming and outgoing, who are controlled by this manasi. Saptami. In the mind, having controlled all these clusters of antennas in the mind, viniyamya, completely disciplining them, so, and not having in the mind sankalpa prabhava kaman sarvan asheshataha tyaktva samantataha. One has to do meditation. Samam tataha. Tataha samam bhutva. Be with that quietude. So he has come back to Dhyana Rupam again. Are you able to get that? So first, when he said here, earlier what did he say? He says, Shuche deshe pratishtapya sthiramasana matmanaha. Then he says, Tatra ekagram manakritva. Ekagram manakritva only he says. Then Samankaya shiro grivam sampreksha nasika gram swam prashantatma vigatapi brahmachari manas samyamya manchittaha. He ends there. Manas samyamya. Just control the mind. Now he is giving a very specific clarity on just not physical body, what should not be there in your mind. Because if something else is there, then the samadhi will take you somewhere else, which we will see in the next class. Sankalpa Prabhavan Kaman, we have to explain it to understand where this mind can go. It will end up in doing some other samadhi, planning samadhi, marriage samadhi. All samadhis will continue, which we are regularly doing. To come out of that samadhi, we have to do this samadhi. And in this samadhi, we will end up that. Why? Because Sankalpa Prabhava Kaman is not Tyaktva. Or if it is Tyaktva, it is not Sarvan Asheshataha Tyaktva. Although Manasavendriya Gramam is Viniyamya, within the mind it will start wandering now. Are you able to get this? We will again tell this and continue the 24th shloka. Little more I will explain it and then we will go ahead in the next class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Today from evening 8 o'clock, from today we have Viveka Chudamani 108 shlokas which has been starting. So today evening, same link, it will also be available in YouTube. 108 shlokas of Viveka Chudamani we will start today. Whoever wants can join. The same link Paramatman you can join in Zoom and continue. Hari Om. Dhanyavad. धन्यवाद धन्यवाद